Let's bring in retired Major General William Enyart. He served in both the Air Force and Illinois Army National Guard, joining us once again this morning. Former Illinois congressman as well. So a lot at stake here and a lot of conversations to be had, both militarily and diplomatically. What will Blinken and Austin's objective be? Is their visit to Kyiv and Ukraine, is it for counsel? Is it for strategy? Is it just to say, here's another bright, shiny thing of aid with a big bow on it?
Well, I think the most important thing is to show clearly to Russia, clearly to Putin, that we are supporting Ukraine, that we are with Ukraine, and we're going to stay with Ukraine. I want to quote what Secretary Austin said. We want to see Ukraine remain a sovereign country, a democratic country, able to protect its sovereign territory. Most importantly, we want to see Russia weakened to the point where it can't do things like invade Ukraine. That is so significant. That kind of diplomatic language is virtually never heard. That is sending a message directly to Putin. That is Putin's greatest fear. With that language, we have really drawn a line in the sand, in my opinion, and that is probably the most important thing that came out of this meeting. Now, of course, the new weapons are important. The fact that we are hugely plussing up the artillery. We only sent 18 howitzers, and we have now increased that to nearly 100. All of a sudden, we're starting to talk about some real firepower there. Most importantly, too, we're adding what are called counter battery fires, counter battery radar. That's the ability to detect where an incoming shell is coming from and the ability to virtually immediately respond to that fire, taking out the artillery piece that fired it. That is absolutely something the Ukraine desperately needs. And with that, they're going to be able to stop a lot of the damage that's being done to their cities and their military.
The Secretary of State also making some pretty strong statements over the course of this war. I want to read you a quote from most recently. Russia has already failed, says Blinken, and Ukraine has already succeeded because the principal aim that President Putin brought to this, in his own words, was to fully subsume Ukraine back to Russia, to take away its sovereignty and independence. And that has not happened and clearly will not happen. Is it too early to be making statements like this, that Russia has failed? Obviously, something like that would not sit well with Russia, which has a very strong point to prove.
Well, you know, the military maxim is you never reinforce failure and you always support success. So Russia is doing militarily the right thing in pulling their forces back from Kyiv and reinforcing their minimal successes, which have been in the Donbass region and in the southern part of Ukraine. What really concerns me, though, is what will happen with the very senior Russian general's threat to take all the Donbass and all of southern Ukraine, all of the Black Sea coastline. That Black Sea coastline is critical to Ukraine. Odessa, which is Ukraine's major seaport, ships virtually all of the Ukrainian grain out to the world. That's 15% of Ukrainian gross domestic product. It supplies Egypt and India and many countries with a whole lot of their foodstuffs. If Ukraine were to lose that entire coastline, they would be surrounded on three sides by a hostile power. They cannot afford to lose Odessa any more than they could afford to lose Kyiv. So while that Russian general's threat may have been just that, may have been a threat, could have been a bluff. You know, Russian politicians and generals lie all the time, but geography doesn't lie. And Odessa is critical to the success of Ukraine as a nation. So by all means, the Ukrainians have to maintain their hold on Odessa, which is why the sinking of that Russian cruiser, the Moscow, was so important. It proved to Russia that they don't have ships safe in the Black Sea, that the Ukrainians can reach out with their anti-ship missiles and sink those ships.
Certainly some strong statements being made, actions by Ukraine being made to protect their cities, including Kyiv. But Secretary of State Blinken also said that it's safe for diplomats to return to Ukraine. So is this mixed messaging with so much intensifying in the East and yet diplomats returning back? What exactly is he saying here?
Well, Kyiv is a long way from the Donbass. But I think that what he is saying is we have confidence in Ukraine that they're going to hold Kyiv, that they're going to be able to defend Kyiv, and they're going to be able to stop these air attacks and artillery attacks on Kyiv. So that sends a very strong message to Russia and indeed to the rest of the world that Ukraine is succeeding with our help and with NATO's help and with 30 nations who are supplying Kyiv with military munitions and supplies, that Ukraine is succeeding in stopping Russia.
Mayor General Enyart, thank you so much for being with us as always.
My pleasure, Adrienne. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.